I'm going to make this video about a subject, about something people always say, which is before you can do anything, before you can love someone else, you should love yourself. Or before you try to learn to do anything, you should learn to love yourself. We hear that phrase a lot, to love yourself. But we never really talk about how to love yourself. Really, just what does love yourself really even mean? So the point of this video is to go into how to learn to love yourself. Now, loving yourself, let's start by saying that loving yourself does not mean being arrogant or demeaning to anyone else. Loving yourself does not mean putting anyone else down or anything like that. In fact, loving yourself has basically nothing to do with other people. It's exclusively about you and yourself. Other people are not in the equation when it comes to that. So there's no putting down, there's no insulting, there's no making yourself better than anybody else. Loving yourself means it just doesn't mean putting other people down. That's arrogance, and we're not going to do that. The first step for loving yourself is to know yourself. Now, before you can love anything, you have to know it. You have to understand it. You have to comprehend it. And that's what we have to do with ourselves. We never really spend a lot of time learning to know ourselves. If you ask someone to describe themselves, it's surprisingly hard for a lot of people. What they'll do is they'll sort of name, when you ask someone, hey, tell me about yourself, they'll sort of name where they work at, how old they are, where they're from, things like that, which are really just other people's opinion of them. And but they never really go into what is your story of yourself. What from scratch, if you had to really talk about who and what you are, what would your impression of your own self be? So the first step is knowing yourself. To learn to know yourself, you just get in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and of course the physical is part of who you are, but that's not all of who you are. But then start thinking about, what are your thoughts? What are your dreams? What are some of the things that make you enthusiastic? What are the things that make you passionate? The real you is more than just the physical you. The real you is who you are between your ears and behind your eyes. That space between your ears, what goes on in there, is the real you. So your thoughts are really who you are. There's a biblical passage that says that as a man thinketh, so he is. Or there's another phrase I've heard somewhere, I think, therefore I am. It really comes down to what your thoughts, you are what you think about, and you dream about, and you feel passionate about. That, in essence, is what you are. If you get up every morning and you love and you think about painting or painting pictures, well, you're a person who thinks you're a part of who you are as a painter. That's part of what you are. That's a part of it. If you have a passion for, who knows? If you passion for fishing or running or being an outdoorsman, that's regardless of whether you work at it or whether you employ doing it, that is what you are. What you think about, the subject you think about, the things that are on your mind all day, that's what you are. So that's a good starting point to find out, okay, what am I, or who am I? Just look at yourself and think about, just consider what you think about and what your desire for. And that, when you put that together, that gives you basically a pretty good, idea of who you are. And so you can know yourself. Okay, after you know yourself, the second step is to accept yourself. Now, here is probably the hardest step of accepting ourselves. And the reason this is probably hard is because we live in a society where basically day in and day out, since we could read and write and hear, we have been told that we need to buy this or buy that, or we need to, for young ladies, are told they need to get their hair done a certain way and wear this kind of makeup, or wear these shoes, or wear this outfit. They have to be a certain body shape. This kind of, you have to be a certain skin color, that kind of thing. And with young men, you're being told you should get this, or work here, or own this, or you should be this tall. We're being told all the time how we are not good enough on a sort of a real kind of low-key or unconscious kind of way. Mainly by people trying to sell us something, of course, but we're being told endlessly about what we need to have to be better. So that makes it hard to accept yourself. Once you know yourself, and once you understand the person you are, not just what you look like, but the human you are, you then move on to accepting that person as a good thing. Say you're a 5'4", pudgy guy, but you're a guy that also has an interest in the symphony or the arts. That's something you think about and you consider. You've always wanted to go do this or do that. That's who you are. Or you're a guy that likes to deal with children, or read, or something like that. That's a part of who you are. Not necessarily what you do for a living per se, but what you have a desire and your thoughts lean towards. That is the makeup of more of who you are. So accept that. That's good. Like being a 5 foot such and such pudgy guy, or if you're a young lady who may look like this or may not look like that person, and but you have an interest in this or an interest in that, accept that. That's good. There are billions and billions of people on this planet, and there's only one of you. Accept that. Say, hey, that's great. There will never be another person with your DNA. Even if you're a twin, there's still differences even with twins. There will never be another human being that will be on this planet. God, if you believe in God, or the universe, if you believe in the universe, or even just random chance, if you believe in that. Whatever brought you into being, there will never be another one of you. So there's a part of the whole that you play, and that is good. After you know yourself, accept yourself. It is good that you are your height, your weight, that you look like you look. It is good that you think the thoughts you think. It's good that you have a passion for what you have a passion for. It's good that you have a goal to do what you have a goal to do. That is good. Start practicing that. Forget someone else telling you what you need to be. You're already what you need to be. And just drill that into your skull. Like I said, that's hard because we live our entire lives up to this point being told that we need to get this or get that. But in the end, start telling yourself, I don't need another thing. I am just what I need to be. And that's great. When God made man, he said that's good if you go by what the Bible said. And you have to learn to accept that. If you're a Christian or if you're a believer in God, God sees you as that. So accept yourself. The third step is to treat yourself as something of value. Now this is the third step. The first step is know yourself, honestly. Second step is to accept yourself, accept that you are good as you are. You may want to improve, you may want to do this or do that, that's fine. But the starting point is that you are already good enough. You're just trying to do something else too. But the third step is, again, treat yourself as something of value. What does that mean? Well, that means take care of yourself. Look and say, hey, I'm precious. Let me dress up and take myself out to dinner just by myself. Not taking a lady out or taking a man out or whatever, but I'm just going to be sharp and treat myself to something nice. Or, I'm going to get up and, no matter how I look, even if I'm not what they call attractive, whatever that means, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get my hair cut sharp, or styled a certain way, and really keep that up, or buy a new outfit, or buy some clothes and really look sharp. Stay dressed clean, because I'm something valuable. Just you start having the mentality that you are something valuable and something precious. Like what I said earlier, has never been another person with you like you. There is not another person like you now. There will never be someone like you in the future forever. You are here just for this short period of time, and so you definitely need to just realize how precious that is, and just take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Pay attention to your appearance. Pay attention to your living space. Treat your body or yourself, not to get too focused on the physical, but treat your mind, your friendships, your relationships, whatever that touches you or touches your life. Evaluate and put out that energy that I am something of value. I'm something to be considered valuable, and I am something worth something. And this is, again, not a matter of what someone else says. This is a matter of what you say. Other people may not think you're valuable, but this is about you loving yourself first. So that, I think, is probably the key to loving yourself. First, know yourself. To recap, know yourself, then accept yourself as something good, and step 3, treat yourself from this point forward as something that is valuable and that valuable to you. And from there, the love of yourself in a healthy way, and again, not being narcissistic, not being arrogant, but in a healthy, positive way that even encourages other people, that will grow love, and that will build love, and that will attract love, just by the law of attraction, or gravity. Two rocks in space will eventually draw towards each other. And that's the same with loving yourself. If you love yourself and it's a positive, productive love, then love will be drawn to you, and so that would help. So that, I think, is a little bit of advice on what I've learned on how to love myself, and that's what I think would be to teach you how to actually love yourself. Like I said, we never really talk about how to love yourself. They just say love yourself, and that's all. But try to take what I've given you today, and build it, and start loving yourself out there. So now when somebody says love yourself before anyone else can love you, now that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, hope that helps, and give me a little feedback with your messages down there, and tell me what you think about this. Have a good day. Goodbye.